We're now on Dcad Lesson 8B, which will involve drawing the roof truss into the section drawing. So I'm going to just left click in the screen here and hit Z for zoom to zoom up on the area where we previously drew the walls in the section drawing. So Z for zoom and make my rectangle, my view rectangle, and let go. And here we are with the walls. And now I need to draw a truss. So the first thing I'm going to do is hit V for vector, and I'm going to just right click near the upper left hand top of the upper of the left hand wall, which is the front wall of the garage, and I'm going to right click near the upper right corner of the rear wall. And so I have 2 points set. Hit my scroll button, and which is the same as enter, and I have my line. Now this line represents the lower edge of the lower chord of the truss. I'm now going to select this line by just drawing a rectangle around it, and I want to draw a parallel line to it, and I want to draw that parallel line by distance, so that's the F2 key. And I'm going to highlight that by just dragging my, holding my left mouse button down and dragging over it, and I'm going to type 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, and I'm going to left click near this line, near this ceiling line above it, come up a little bit, and left click again. So now I have the bottom chord of my roof truss. Now the roof is going to be at a 4 12 pitch, so I'm going to use the point relative command to draw that roof pitch in. So a couple things. One is first I'm going to get in the vicinity of this corner where my lower portion of my top chord will intersect with the plate line for the wall. So I'm going to hit V for vector, and there's no point set, as you can see down here. And first thing I'm going to do is hit gravity move, so that I hit that intersection of the outside wall line and the lower chord truss line. So gravity move is the comma key. Now I want to hit point relative, which is the apostrophe, and I want 0 in the dimension X, and I want 0.25 inches in the dimension Y. And that's going to when I hit OK or enter, that's going to raise my cursor and set a point up 1/4 inch, because trusses will have a 1/4 inch butt cut on them. So I'm going to now hit. So that's set my first point for my roof pitch. Now I'm going to hit the apostrophe point relative key again, and I'm going to hit 12 in the distance X, and I'm going to hit tab to go down and select distance Y, and I'm going to enter in that 4. So because we have a 4 12 roof pitch, that's 12 along the X-axis and 4 on the Y-axis. Then I'm going to hit enter. And look there. So I have my 2 points set, as you can see down here. And all I have to do now is hit enter or hit my scroll button, and it'll draw the line. So now I'm going to draw a line that's going to be 3.5 inches parallel to that line and above it, because that'll be the top edge of my top chord of my truss. So I'm going to select the truss or the lower edge, simply because I don't want to confuse it with any other lines. Even though right now there's not any other lines anywhere near it, it still can be a good habit to get into, because that way you're only initiating commands on the lines that are selected if you have that box checked when you initiate it. So I'm going to hit F2, which is point parallel, and you can see here that selected entities only is checked. So that means that the parallel line will only be drawn relative to a selected entity. So, and I'm at 0.2917 feet, which is 3.5 inches still. It maintained my last entry. So I'm just going to click above this selected line and move my cursor up a little bit and left click again, and it has drawn the upper edge of my upper chord of the truss. And I'm going to hit escape now to unselect, and I'm going to hit Control W to zoom out to the extent of the drawing, because I need to now establish my eve point. So now I'm going to hit V for vector again, and I'm going to right click near this corner edge of my eave and barge overhang, and it'll snap to it. You can see my line here, my rubber band line. Now I want to go to orthogonal mode by either going up here and clicking on it or hitting H, the H key. And here I hit H, so that has taken it down. I'm going to bring my line down into here somewhere and just left click and draw my line. And now I can either click my scroll button or hit enter. Now I have a line drawn all the way down that will align with the eave overhang of my roof plan. So now I'm going to select this line that I just drew, and I want to trim it. Essentially, I'm going to use the extend command, which is you can either go here in the line trim command and left click and go out all the way to, you see these double arrows, and that's the trim, and let go of it. And I'm still going to deal with selected entities only, so I'm going to click near that now and just left click and move up and down, so you can see that it'll either extend it out or extend it down, either way. I'm going to get down here pretty low and left click again, and so you can see that I have this little eave line that's still selected down here. Now I'm going to hit Z for zoom and zoom up on that area so I get a better look at it. So this is a pretty long plumb cut for that eave line, but that's okay at this point. What I'm going to do is just hit escape, and I want to trim this top edge of my top chord to this eave line that I just drew. So I'm going to hit E, click near this top edge line, and you can see I'm still in orthogonal mode. So I'm going to hit H to go out of orthogonal mode. You can see it up in here. When I hit H, that'll toggle that off. And I'm going to now click near this line, left click, and trim that line to it. I'm going to do the same thing on the lower edge of the top chord. So I'm going to hit E, click near this line, and then click near this line, and it brings it down to it. So now I'm going to zoom up in this area by hitting Z, and I can either just select this and right click on the point and then right click where I want it to go, and right click on the point and right click where I want it to go, and that's established my eave. Now I'm going to hit Control M to take me to my last point, my last zoom setting, and you can see that we're starting to look like a roof here. So now the top edge of my bottom chord extends all the way to the outside edge of each of the walls. So I want to find center point of the roof. So because if I find center line of this line, that'll be center line of the roof. So I'm going to hit V and hit Control K, and that'll snap to the center of this line. Now I want to go back into orthogonal mode because I want a vertical line. So I'm hitting H and going up a little bit past this line and left clicking, and then hitting my scroll button to actuate the command. Now I'm going to hit E and trim this line. I need to go out of orthogonal again, so I'm hitting H to this line, and then E to trim this line to the center line. And then I'm going to hit E one more time to trim the center line itself to the top edge. So this is our center line. This is basically the top chord of the left side of our truss, or the front side of our truss. Now I want to find halfway between this intersection here and the center line to draw a vertical web of our truss. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this line by hitting E, the top edge of our bottom chord, to the bottom edge of our top chord, and hit the left mouse button again, and it trimmed it. So now to find center of this distance in here, I'm just going to hit V for vector, right click at this point here, and come up somewhere on my center line and just hit K, and that'll snap to it. You can see that I have 2 points set. Now I'm going to hit the scroll button, and that actuates my line. So now I want to draw another vertical line, and a quick and easy way to do that is to select this line and use the parallel command, which is the equal sign, and click near the selected line, and I can move it back and forth. You can see it's going to draw a parallel line wherever I set my next point. So I'm going to go near this sloping line and hit Control K, because that'll find the center of this sloping line. Control K. and it has established a center here. So now this line, if I trim it, I'm going to hit escape to unselect. If I trim this line to the bottom edge of my top chord, it's going to do something that I probably don't want it to do. So I'm going to try it. E, hit here, and then hit here, and you can see it just trimmed the wrong portion of the line. So I'm hitting Control Z, which is the undo command. So essentially what I need to do is select this line and use the extend command, which is Shift dash, or Shift underline, and left click near it, and I can extend it up or down and bring it down a little bit closer, and then left click again. Now if I hit E and trim this line to this line, it does it. Okay, I hit escape, and I'm going to zoom up on this portion of the roof a little bit more closely. Zoom, Z for zoom. I can get rid of this sloping line now because I'm done with it by selecting it and hitting delete. Now I want to draw a point from this top of this line to the bottom of this line. So I'm hitting V for vector, right clicking, it snaps to it and sets a point, and I'm hitting right clicking and it snaps to it and sets a point, hitting my scroll button to actuate the line. So now we have these three lines, but they're separate lines, and I want them to be combined. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select all three of them, and then I'm going to hit B, which combines the lines. I hit escape, it unselects it. I click near one of them, and it selects them all, so that means that they're combined. So now I want to hit the parallel by distance command because this is the center line of my truss webbing, and I need to go 1 3/4 inches each way because this webbing will be composed of 2x4s. So F2 for parallel by distance. I need to I can hit Tab, and in the tab highlights the previous numbers in there, and I'm typing 1.75 inches, hitting enter. And so now I can, and you can see the selected entities only is still selected. I'm going to left click near this line and pull to the left and then set a point. Then I'm going to left click near the line, parallel by distance F2 again, and click near this line on the right side and pull over just a little bit and set it, and left click, and it draws it. Now I don't need the center line anymore, so I'm just going to hit delete, and it's gone. Now I'm going to trim these two lines to each other so that when I trim them to the truss cords, they'll trim properly. So I'm going to hit Shift E and click on this line and this line. I'm hitting Shift E and click on this line and this line. Now I'm going to hit E and trim this line to the bottom of the top chord. Hit E again, trim this line to the bottom of the top chord. Hit E again and trim this line to the top of the bottom chord. And this line I'm just going to get rid of. I'm going to select it, hit delete, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now I'm going to trim this line to the bottom of the top chord. E, click near it, and click near that, and it's trimmed. So you can see now that we have essentially half a truss. Now I would normally just mirror it, create a mirror image on the other side at this point, but I want to do a couple of things. While I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and draw my freeze block. My freeze block is going to be a 2x4, so it's going to be 1.5 inches thick and 3.5 inches tall. So I'm going to hit the box command, which is the right bracket, and I'm going to just set a point someplace with my left mouse button, and then hit the comma to gravity move, and then I'm going to hit the point relative command, and I want in the X distance I want 1.5 inches, and in the Y I want 3.5 inches, and it's drawn a 2x4. So I want this freeze block to be sloped so that it fits the truss. So I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to go over here to set selection handles and left click on that. I'm going to set a handle, right click here, and right click here and to set my 2 points, my main handle and handle 1. So now I can zoom up on this area where the freeze block is going to go, and I'm going to extend this outside wall line up to the bottom. This is our butt cut for the truss. So I'm going to trim this outside wall line to the bottom of the truss, E, and then set another point. Now I'm going to move my freeze block over to that area. I'm going to zoom back up again. M for move. Okay. Hit escape. Apparently it's not working correctly, so I'm going to select it again, set my handles again by right-clicking on these 2 points, and I'm going to zoom up on this area again where I want it to be located. I'm going to hit M. This time it's moving correctly, and I'm going to right-click, and you can see that it wants to roll my freeze block around, so I'm just going to get on this line, and I'm going to hit K. And there's my freeze block in its proper location. So now I'm just going to mirror this truss over. So I'm going to just select it. I'm going to set a handle at this lower outside wall line. So I'm going to set selection handles. And I'm going to right click at the lower outside wall line. And I'm going to hit my scroll button. That's to set my handle. Now I'm going to hit the arrow command, which is a slash command, which is the mirror command. And if I right click on my rear lower wall line, it'll snap and hit escape, and there's our truss. That's the end of lesson 8B.